Still ahead, fighting for answers. Residents in Willowbrook are suing a suburban plant for spewing a cancer-causing chemical into the air. We're going to talk to attorneys who are in charge of the cases against Sterigenics. What you need to know coming up.
Ethylene oxide causes cancer. They know this, they knew this, but they hid it.
Well, this morning, fear, concern, and many unanswered questions about a possible health danger in the suburbs. Hundreds of people gathering last night to get answers from the EPA about a cancer-causing chemical spewed from the Sterigenics plant in Willowbrook. The EPA saying that the concern may be overstated, but they will conduct a new round of testing just to make sure.
So, that said, Sterigenics is currently facing some 11 lawsuits, including 9 in federal court. Joining us this morning are 2 of the attorneys handling these cases, Antonio Romanucci from Romanucci, Blandin, and Jeff Kroll from Salvi, Schostok, and Pritchard. Gentlemen, good morning to you.
Good morning.
Before we talk about last night's meeting, I just, for the record, want to read a statement from Sterigenics. They say, and I'm paraphrasing here, that they tested ethylene oxide levels throughout the greater Chicagoland area, and they said they found it pretty much everywhere. How was that message received last night?
Taboos, you know, you could put lipstick on a pig, it's still a pig. And yesterday there was outrage. They don't believe Sterigenics. They don't believe the EPA. They've gone from anger to sadness back to anger now. They went from shock to anger. This whole community does not know what to do. And they're looking for answers, and they're getting none. They're getting excuses. They're getting ads in newspapers, but no answers.
So how do you go about getting this? I mean, we had the EPA saying, okay, the levels were this. Oh, no, they're not this. And so now you're waiting on these new results that'll come out in January, but you're not going to buy them, I take it. At this point, you don't trust what you're getting from the government. So how do you demand the information that gets the people to the point where they can say, yes, this was causing cancer?
Well, first of all, we have tons of questions for Sterigenics. They have not answered the basic questions as to what the levels were. Not in July, not in June, not in May. How about 1 year ago, 5 years ago, 20 years ago, and 30 years ago? We don't know what the levels were then. And we are going to find out through the discovery process, which is what we do as lawyers, when we ask for documents, and we're going to be very, very thorough and make sure that we get what we need here.
And coincidentally, we've asked the EPA for certain documents involving communications between the EPA and Sterigenics. We've received nothing.
And I think I'm going to be speaking for people in Willowbrook and elsewhere. The frustrating thing is we know that this current administration is sort of handcuffing the EPA, particularly with the Clean Air Act, sort of drawing back some of its teeth. That said, how in the world can you be confident that you're going to get to the truth?
Well, we have to prove this ourselves. We can't rely on any government agency or industry or anyone else to come and say, we're going to help you. We have to do this ourselves. Jeff and I have been saying this for a long time now. This is a marathon, not a sprint. We're prepared to stay in this fight and fight for these people out there who are suffering and dying every single day.
Can you, okay, for those people who are just kind of tuning in and like, what is the Sterigenics all about? What do we know? What are people saying it's causing their bodies? What's happening to their bodies?
Yeah, the big thing is cancer, lymphomas, and we can't get into too many details about the people we represent, but there's clusters. This is one of the largest clusters in the country with cancer. They're pumping out this ethylene oxide, which is a cancerous. It's a carcinogen, and there's no controls over it, none whatsoever. And these people want answers. And you know, there's an old saying my grandmother used to say: "You can hide behind a brassiere, but sooner or later, the truth's going to come out." And the truth will come out.
And having Lisa, I just want to say, and having Lisa Madigan now demanding answers as well, does that help you?
It does help us, but once again, we're going to do this on our own. Whatever information Lisa Madigan can find for us will be helpful, but we have to prove our own way.
Before we let you guys go, you know, I've been on the Kennedy, I've seen the billboards. I'm sure there's a lot of people that maybe didn't even live in Willowbrook, but lived in the vicinity of, who are very nervous. And we said so many lawsuits. What do we need to know? Where do you steer them so they can get all the information that they need?
I'll tell you, there's a group called Stop Sterigenics. Yeah. They've got Facebook, they've got a website. They're doing an excellent job advocating for the Willowbrook, and now we have to pick up the ball.
They're organized.
Yeah, you know, there's another company, and Madigan was talking about this on our show. There's another company in Lake County, the Medline. Actually, there's a couple of them there, and so there's concern about there. Are you getting calls from folks over there too?
We are. They don't, because we're not getting answers from anyone right now, and people are afraid.
We hope you come back, because this is a story I think that we want to stay on top of and let people know whenever this newest information comes out. But I want to thank you for coming in this morning.
Thank you. It's just so important. It really is to keep this alive and have you bring out this information.
We're exhausted, and we haven't even started yet.
I was just saying, you guys must be, how can you do any other cases at this point? You know, because it is so daunting, the task that's ahead of you. Yeah. And we appreciate people like you, but pushing ahead for folks that are concerned.
They deserve it.
We thank you.
Thank you, gentlemen. Appreciate it.
Have a great day.
Thank you.